Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight on our news, the Deputy Prime Minister has no regrets with Bahamas Power and Light as the island experiences rolling blackouts.
Nearly 800 students were sent home early today after electricity was shut off at Stephen Dillard Primary School. That story coming up.
A second police-involved shooting in less than a week leaves one man dead. Grand Bahama residents demand change as they march in solidarity. And a special Junkanoo parade just for the patients at Sandilands Rehabilitation Center. Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. I'm Christina McNeil. Topping news tonight, amid concerns over recent electricity bill estimates and island-wide power outages, the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Work says he believes Bahamas Power and Light is fulfilling its mandate to the Bahamian people and he has no regrets.
I have no regrets because I think BPL is meeting its mandate as we have outlined it. The challenge has been we still have the age engines, and we have not yet been able to address them in a way that we had anticipated much earlier. That required capital, remembering that BPL is a Bahamian-owned entity, so they look to government for the raising of that capital. And therein lies the challenge at the moment.
The island was plunged into darkness Tuesday night, and throughout the day on Wednesday, power supply was intermittent. Davis maintains that BPL continues to be challenged by aging equipment.
The engines that we have are aged engines. We have brought in additional generation capacity, modern, yes, but we still rely on some of the very old generation capacity that we have. And as Phil Stubbs says, age has the engine, and age is a bit more than a number today.
Back in 2015, government spent $900,000 for Power Secure to create a business plan that would fulfill a double-pronged mandate to provide more reliable and affordable electricity to the Bahamas. While Bahamians are left in the dark, Davis says BPL is still working to fulfill one part of that mandate.
Well, you would have seen improvements in reliability. You would have seen improvements in the bottom line of your bill since 2012. Take heart from that to realize that we will fulfill the other end of the bargain, that is reliable generation, which will come and replace those engines that has to be changed.
Davis says the purchase of those new engines is now in the hands of the Ministry of Finance. As for those electricity customers who were adversely affected by Bahamas Power and Light bill estimates for the months of September and October, Davis says he has given the BPL chairman a directive to take a second look at some of those estimates.
Anyone who is as it were affected adversely by it, I've given directives to the chairman to work with those persons who might have been affected by what they call the additional sum that was added to the bill because of the adjustment that had to be made because of the underestimation that was made during the course of the estimation of the bill during the month of, I think it's October.
Well, 800 students at Stephen Dillard Primary School were sent home this morning after a power outage left the school in darkness. Officials said electricity was shut off at the school Tuesday night and was not restored before students showed up for classes this morning. Simone Davis reports.
As hundreds of students waited outside for pickup, teachers and the administrative staff continued to wait for electricity to be restored to the enclosed campus. Vice Principal Mildred Picksock described the long power outage at the school as unusual, stating that electricity is needed for students to see in the classrooms and to even use the restrooms.
Well, when we came in this morning at 8, the power was still off. I met persons outside. We were all gathered outside for about 10-15 minutes, and then I realized the power wasn't coming on, and so we started to make our contacts with the Ministry of Education. At our school, it's unique because we have no windows, and usually when the power is out, we last for about an hour with emergency lights. But this morning was different because we came in and there was no light, and so everything was just dark inside.
The vice principal added that since Hurricane Matthew last month, there has been several power outages, but none this long.
We had a few outages since the hurricane, but not for long periods, 20 minutes the most. And that doesn't affect us because our lights stay on for at least about 45 minutes.
School Administrator Naria Hallbert said electricity issues are a concern to students and teachers, and when the school is forced to shut down, it interferes with students' classwork. When asked if the school is considering requesting a generator to prevent these issues in the future, Hallbert said this.
It might be an initiative that the Ministry of Education might undertake. It's not something that we can really do at the school level because the size of the building is so vast. But the size of the generator would be a real significant one. And so financially, it's not something that we can cover at the school, but it might be an undertaking for the Ministry of Education to consider.
School officials say they are hoping that power is restored in time for students to return to classes on Thursday. Bahamas Power and Light announced that the company experienced a system shutdown at around 10 o'clock last night, which resulted in an island-wide blackout. Since then, the company has stated via their Facebook page that power is being gradually restored to customers. Reporting for our news, I'm Simone Davis.
Thanks, Simone. Well, Bahamas Power and Light has issued a statement on the ongoing power outages, noting that the cause of last night's island-wide outage was an underground cable fault. According to the statement, that fault caused a complete shutdown of BPL's generation, transmission, and distribution networks to the island. BPL says temporary measures were put in place as the damaged underground cable was located and repairs began. Customers have been advised to expect intermittent challenges in power supply until operations have stabilized. BPL says it understands the frustration of its customers and is presently working on several solutions to improve reliability as soon as possible. Deputy Prime Minister Philip Davis has confirmed that government is in the process of raising capital for new generation engines. In other news, a man was shot and killed by police this afternoon after a group he was with reportedly opened fire on officers. The incident took place in Nassau Village. Assistant Commissioner of Police Stephen Dean says officers were in the area searching for a prolific offender when they saw the group of men.
A group of men on seeing the police, two of them opened fire on the police. The police returned fire and some of the men ran off. As a result, 4 of them were arrested. One of the suspects was fatally shot. Police recovered a handgun. Police are still conducting investigations into this matter.
Dean says police later found the men were wanted in connection with a number of serious crimes, but the prolific offender they were originally looking for is still at large.
He just happened to be one of the other persons that we were looking for. So we are continuing our investigation for the major suspect that we are looking for in this area. And so we want to bring justice.
Dean says the matter is now in the hands of Her Majesty's coroner. This is the second police-involved shooting in less than a week. Last Friday, police shot and killed a man after police say he exchanged gunfire with them along Blue Hill Road South. Still to come on our news, Grand Bahama residents march on Black Friday. The Shell Saxon Superstars partner with patients at the Sandilands Rehabilitation Center, and from cupboard babies to daycare at the Bay Street Straw Market. That's coming up when our news returns.